I think fear it exists within each of us, and sometimes when we have no fear, we move through life, we learn that it might have been a good idea to hold back and have a little bit of fear. I mean, I think at some time in life, everyone feels fear, whether it be in a relationship, whether it be in the uncertainty of a company, the uncertainty of career moves. Some things happen as a result of our decisions. Other things happen as a result of other people's decisions. And whenever there's change occurring in people's life and that level of uncertainty, it's easy for fear to set in. So fear also becomes one of the largest obstacles uh, to success. Sometimes the lack of uncertainty also speaks to the fact that, we may not be willing to take the risk to make the change that needs to be implemented to get different results. And in life, they say that if you keep doing the same thing, you can expect the same results. But to get different results, you need to do things differently. So, in looking at fear, a couple things to think about. Is your motive important enough for you to overcome fear? Are you making decisions for the right reason? Oftentimes, the individual that sets out to start a new company to say, I'm starting a new company because I just want to be rich, those companies often will not succeed simply because it was based on the wrong foundation. Kind of like the parable of the person that builds their house on the sand. That when the storms and the wind come forward, that they're not able to weather the storm because they're not able to realize their goals quick enough, and that is trying to find money and wealth. Whereas the individual that sets out to start a company, and the more successful individuals are usually setting out in their company to solve a problem. The bigger disruptor that the solution is bringing to the current market, then oftentimes they'll find greater rewards. Those entrepreneurs that stay with trying to solve the problem and win often will realize the greatest success. So as you move forward, and if you're looking at doing a new company, ask yourself the question: is your motive important enough to overcome your fears? Are you willing to accept the possibility of failure and move on to how you're going to accomplish your goal? I once read a quote by Elizabeth Holmes at Theranos, and obviously she's had a rough couple years with basically the company. There's ongoing drama there, but someone once asked her what her backup plan was to the company. She says, "I have no backup plan. If there was a backup plan, then she says, I just don't believe in that, essentially." And so I feel that when you're looking at trying to solve a problem, it may take all sorts of different angles to look at. A backup plan is always a good thing, not to abandon the ship, but to say, how do we move forward and how do we correct getting to the next hurdle. The other thing an entrepreneur will do is they'll measure odds. They'll look at the odds that are in their favor. If they find something is of insurmountable odds, and so equivalent, go down to Vegas, and do you want to really put your money on something that you feel is not for real? I think taking a calculated risk, finding the right people. If you're finding that as you're setting out to solve a problem that you may not have the right team, you may need to go back and reevaluate and say, what do we need to do to move this forward? So if you do fail to realize that you've gained a learning experience to help you succeed in the future, then I think you missed something. Every time we see a failure in life, it gives us an opportunity for to correct our course. And then we become better people as a result of that. So, overcoming fear, finding success is part of life. So, when you're setting out the goals, stretch yourself. Uh, Stretch yourself and work towards the things that you really want to see accomplished. There's one other thing that as you set goals out, if you find that uh, that you keep setting the same goal, that then maybe it never really is a goal. Maybe it's something. It's a wish. And so reevaluate and also have someone helping you with your accountability. For years, I always had a goal. I wanted to lose some weight, but the time frame would come and go. And I would find out that, is this really a goal of mine? And finally got to the point where I said, in order for this to work, I need to change not only my behavior, but build a system of accountability in there. And I think every time you build accountability to the goal, that you have to go before someone and say, I met or I did not meet my goal. It improves the likelihood, lessens the risk of failure, improves the likelihood of you succeeding.